Hello, I'm X Toycat, and did you know that if you make a creeper farm out here in a mountain biome, then as well as getting creepers, you might accidentally end up with some goats in there. I didn't know that, and apparently I have to work out how to fix the appearance of goats in my creeper farm, but also in the theme of farming, today I wanted to make a brand new type of farm. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Because, hello, I'm X Toycat, and welcome back to an episode of the Minecraft Bedrock Update Adventures Let's Play. This is the weekly update as to what's been going on, both in my survival world, as well as life, the universe, and everything in between. But one of the things you probably know, because I've gone on about it enough on my channel, is the fact that if you have lava, and then a block, and then you have pointed dripstone, you can have that dripstone leak into a cauldron, and make yourself a near infinite amount of lava. It's really great, because the lava will turn into more lava over and over and over again. It might take some time, but it's a very, very effective way to make infinite lava. However, you might question, if lava can drip down the pointed dripstone and make more lava, what happens when you put water above it? And my immediate assumption, because I'm dumb, was that if you had water above pointed dripstone, then you'd be able to grow infinite water, which is just not very handy because we already have infinite water, as you can see right here. But what you get instead is actually quite interesting. So to show you this, I've taken my 21 dripstone blocks that I have lying around. I'm taking my 5 pointed dripstone and 1 water bucket down into my mines. The reason I'm going down here is because I already have some AFK related farms, and it feels like a cave, sort of. Oh my god, please have moss block sword. Oh, drip leaves, heck yes. You are staying right here. I am buying drip leaves, and I'm getting back to my point in a second. Okay, there we go. I finally have these small drip leaves. They're not that useful by themselves, but I mean, we can do other things with them or something. Also, it's filled up my inventory. You know what? You could even do that, right, Wandering Trader. So yeah, with that said, I already have a little bit of a cavey themed farm down here because I coincidentally, or conveniently enough, do actually have a spider farm. I felt like this isn't how most spider farms work, but I like it. It uses magma to kill the spiders. I get some string going on, which I can use to make wool or really anything else that is useful with string. I want to do something really fun with string at some point. So I'm going to leave this farm running while I make another farm, and that way they can both kind of run simultaneously. And also, they're both below my house, so they should run at all times there too. I'm not too sure if that's true, but today I'm going to be using the dripstone because, hey, did you know, something that took me so long to work out, because I guess I'm just not very smart, is that dripstone underneath a dripstone block will not grow naturally. Again, I don't know why this took me so long to work out. I tried so many things because I read that like dripstone grows super slowly compared to other blocks, and I was like, okay, I can wait, it's fine. But no, the actual way that dripstone works is it drips water off it by default, which is kind of strange. Where is this water coming from? How is it that there is water leaking off this block? I don't know. But yeah, this kind of threw me off, and it made me think the opposite of what would be true. But basically, if you have water directly above it, which we'll try and keep under control, who knows if we actually will, if you have water directly above your dripstone, then the dripstone drips a lot more water, and this is apparently how dripstone grows in real life, or stalactites and stalagmites do. You know, water drips down, and they slowly become a part of it or something, or the dripstone leaks into it. I don't fully understand the science in real life. You know what? Minecraft's not very good at teaching me real life science, but what Minecraft is good at teaching me is that farming dumb things is fun. Sometimes it's fun just to watch exponential growth happen, and so today we're going to be starting a dripstone farm. But rather than just using 5 pieces of dripstone, I intend to use a whole bunch more. As you'll know if you watched my realm review this week, I fell in love with just like looking at a dripstone farm, even the manual ones that have, you know, because I know you can automate even the most manual farms because you just need an automatic redstone thingamajiggy, but even the most manual farms are always interesting to look at. So I'm going to put an automatic farm here somewhere, but I want to have a giant manual farm next to it, and so that's where this comes in. I'm going to be using this area next to my spider farm anyway to grow some dripstone, and the logic is going to be, well, I might need this for infinite lava later, but in reality, I'm doing it because it's a pointless farm. You really shouldn't farm dripstone. 99.9% of your needs can be found by going to caves, just like right now. Rather than waiting for the dripstone to grow, I'm gonna find some in caves. It will be faster. Okay, so since I've worked out that the vast majority of my activity I'm gonna be doing during this build is gonna be waiting, I figure let's take some copper, because I've been smelting a ton of copper all over the place. Wow, it's almost like it's a new resource I've been collecting. And let's age some copper at the same time, because I learned a tip to do with aging copper that I still think is like a little bit dumb, but I figured I should share it with you regardless. Because, should I cut the copper first? Or can you cut already aged copper, actually? Let's find out if you can, and if you can, then let's just age the regular copper. Oh, you can. Isn't that nice? By the way, because I've left this block just chilling around in my base, and it's oxidized, even though I spent all those hours not oxidizing blocks before. And it's funny because 1.17 really is the waiting update. Think about it. It's not just dripstone. It's not just the copper. There is so many little different parts of this. I mean, all of the different things you can farm basically rely on like some amount of waiting. And I think that's really interesting game mechanic design. See, it's interesting. I left the mine to go do my birthday stream in case you're curious. And as you can see, it seems as though that's so strange. Whatever. So why did it grow now and not all of that other time? So the pro tip with copper, I don't understand this entirely. Like, I understand the logic, but I feel like it's a bit faulty. Is copper, if it's got another copper block within 4 blocks, then it won't oxidize as fast. I can actually understand why copper being together oxidizes slower, because a bigger surface area means effects happen slower, like it makes sense. But I don't understand why 4 blocks in between them needs to be true. Like, you'd figure if there was 1 block between them, they'd be exactly the same as if there's not. But again, I guess it's so you can have copper builds of like spaces for a door or something. Let's not pretend that things make sense entirely. And that's the thing about Minecraft, right? Like, I feel like Minecraft works better when it has things that are like coincidentally true. Like I learned what dripstone was, or like calcite. You know, calcite is just a name for a block. You don't have to care about the name for a block, but it is the name for a block, and you can take advantage of it, or you can not. You can, learn some things, Google it or whatever. Did you know it's CCAON2 or something like that? You can learn about calcite, or you can choose not to. I feel like when it's like gameplay mechanics that are like, no, you must learn how it is in real life so that you can see how it is in Minecraft. It's like, that's fun, sure, but if you're going to do that, you need to then commit to it. You can't be like, yeah, we use realism sometimes with an entirely inconsistent basis on why and when and how. It's just when we feel like it, There's totally no problems with that as a format. And it's like, actually, as it turns out, I think there is. So, yeah, the way you age copper is you literally leave it more than 4 blocks away from another block, and then good things happen. Should that be how it works? Some would argue that's a silly system. But some people would argue incorrectly by the Mojang view, I think. So yeah, we're gonna place another one down just in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna place our last one in here, and then we're gonna get some hoppers going. I don't have any iron, do I? We're gonna make a furnace down here because I've got some cobblestone anyway, and I'm gonna make my own hoppers anyway. No, I don't have chests, Sam. Well, I guess I'm not gonna have hoppers, and I guess it's just gonna all drop on the floor. Wait, if I stand right here, yeah, here's my smart idea. Look at this. So if I stand right over here, then when the pistons push, I think it will actually hurt me. Let's just see what happens if I wait right here, and I'm gonna go get myself some snacks. Honestly, I want to get some bad New York souvenirs, so I can give them to people and be like, yep, I love you, this tiny amount. Not enough to do anything special for you, just to go into a store and be like, yeah, you would love this thing that costs about $4. You're worth it. So I'm going to show people in my life they're worth $4. And if you want to show me that I'm worth $4 to your life, did you know you can become a member on the channel? And also, obviously, the Let's Play is being updated in the next week or so. I think today is the last day you can get the map in the sale. It might be that yesterday was the last day you can get the Toycat Let's Play on the sale. But, yeah, give it a look on the marketplace if you wanna. It's on screen right now. Look at the power of editing while I go to the city. So I went to get a burrito. I got myself some macarons. Wow, how ludicrously extravagant of me. And in that time, we grew 1, 2, 3, 4 stalactites. And we also have 5, 6 stalagmites now. And in my inventory, I have 2. I don't know if I had those 2 before, or if they grew and fell in there. But either way, I guess we made progress. Also in that time, look at this. Every single copper, bar like a couple, is now fully oxidized. So, I guess we're farming oxidized copper by accident. So I guess we'll scoop it all up now, because we need some that's partially unoxidized. And, yeah, weird game mechanics, huh? Very weird game mechanics. So, yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking, how is this possible that I can leave it for 3 hours and nothing happens, and every single time I come back, something happens? Is that like normal? Is that expected? Is your movement like factored into it somehow? I wonder how much string I got in that time, actually. I feel like we should check. The chest may genuinely be overflowing. Nope, it's It's very close though. It's very. I'm gonna have to double chest this thing up. That's how much growth we're seeing right here. But yeah, it was I was thinking about like one of the. I know one of my like controversial stances is like, you know what? In a lot of cases, in a lot more cases than people would have believe, like you are the problem yourself. Like I feel like a lot of people don't like this, and they're like, no, what are you talking about? That's you being, you know, they'll throw it back onto you. 'Cause it's not a nice thing to hear. And like honestly, I know I don't say it to people directly. I feel like it's not a nice piece of advice to give. No one's gonna feel helped by that. But I've always wondered like my default is like blaming myself. I always will try and work out what I could have done differently to avoid some bad situation. And it's interesting because one of the things I realized while I was on my long subway journey, being very close to some very rough situations. I won't dive into it right now. But you know what? Public transport in New York City, very wacky. Yeah, one of the things that I kind of realized was like, you know, it's good to blame. That one of the reasons it's best to blame yourself or try and find, you know, things wrong with yourself is because if you assume the problem is elsewhere, then it's like almost an unsolvable problem you've created. You can make, you know, if the problem is in the world, you can't fix the world. Sad to break it to you. You can make the world slightly less broken if you really try. I think this is actually 7x7 instead of 8x8. Could be wrong. Let me check the ground. Yeah, no, it's 7x7. I made a mistake. We can expand it. But yeah, it's weird because if the problem's in the world is very hard to fix. Maybe this is like, I know I always feel like I'm promoting apathy sometimes, but instead I'd rather be like, you know, rather than being apathetic about the world being unfixable and therefore your life being unfixable, if you blame yourself as being the source of problems, then it's easy to be like, oh wow, you know, if I'm the problem, I know how to, you know, I have direct control over the solution. And although there's a fun debate about like, do you really have full self-control? Some would argue no, but you do at least have some, you know, you have some agency about yourself and how you exist that you don't have over other people. Should you have it over other people? I know sometimes. I know. I feel like this is an interesting thing. It's almost like okay. You know, can I dive into the weirdest subject? Because I feel like this has come up at least once in everyone's life, but it's a weird one. It's like, okay, when we get perfectly realistic, you know, when we have robots that are, you know, very, very close to being humans, you know, why would you date a human being again? And you know, like at first it's like, oh, that's a silly question to get. What are you even doing here? Are you suggesting? But like, you know, it's interesting, right? Like, are you in a, you know, do the relationships in your life exist for you, or do they exist for the people around you? There is an interesting question in that, right? And there's even more of an interesting question about like, well, you know, would it be happier for you, and then insert, you know, person that like you both just find some robots, right? And you're like, oh yeah, that's a thing. And the only answer that can, like, you know, and the answer most people get to is like, actually no, I kind of like, you know, like I like you know, unlike a robot which would probably be programmed or whatever to, you know, be perfect for you. Like you know, people like the idea of, how did I get so many slime balls? How am I continuously racking those things up? It is it is very wild at this point. But it's interesting because unlike a should I take these coppers down with me? I guess I might as well. I'm gonna be down for a while. Also, I probably haven't slept in a while. We're gonna make sure no phantoms spawn. But you know, like there is a really interesting debate about it, right? Of like, do you? I think most people end up with the answer of like, oh no, because like I prefer love being like voluntary, or I prefer like, you know, whatever it is you like in a relationship, or whatever you like in a friendship and whatever else. Because, you know, the friendship argument's a much easier one to talk about because it's not weird and you don't, you know, picture some very, very strange contraption that would make you look strange in front of your family. But, you know, like, you know, would robots make better friends? Is just an interesting argument. And people always say like, oh yeah, I wouldn't want that. And maybe, you know, like, maybe I also wouldn't, and I'm like, just, you know, I just haven't thought it fruitfully. But I think to myself sometimes, like, you know, oh god, we need to prevent that being a problem. I think to myself, at least sometimes, like, see, the good news is there's already water source blocks above there, so it should be able to grow, I hope, maybe. But yeah, I think to myself, like, you know what, maybe, I I bet you wouldn't hate it, you know? Like, I think it's one of those things. It's like death. We all pretend that, like, death is this great thing. Like, oh, no, I would hate to live longer. I think that living to 80 is about right. I wouldn't want to live any more years after that. It's like, no, you're telling yourself that you know, you're okay with death because otherwise you have to confront this thing that you hate, you know? I think it's interesting that, like, a lot of people both, you know, it's interesting that there's overlap between the group of people who are, like, very terrified of dying one day and, you know, like, not existing anymore, and people who are, like, you know, suicidal to some extent. Like, there's an interesting, there's something interesting that tells you about the human condition, maybe. It tells me something interesting about the human condition, if nothing else. Speaking of the human condition, wow, you know what? If you had robot friends and or a robot wife, you know, would they be experiencing the human condition? The answer is no, they'd be robots. But yeah, I wonder if it's one of those things where, like, you know, if someone offered you an immortality pill, you know, you'd say, like, oh yeah, I wouldn't take that. But then, like, you know, if it's in front of you, damn it, I forgot iron again. I knew I needed, and I forgot the chest. I went up there to get a chest, I went up there to get iron. I didn't get either of those things. Let's go actually do that. You can tell that a lot of wandering traders have come through here at some point by the ludicrous number of llamas. I guess I'll just shove them in the pit. I might as well collect them, right? I mean, if you can't breed these guys, and I'm pretty sure you can't, I feel like having a collection of them might be fun. There we go. You know, just get in the hole. I'm not gonna be too forceful with you here, but you should definitely be in that. Okay, you know what? Fine. No whole feet. Wait. No, I'm gonna make this work. Okay, get this. I'm gonna pull off the super hit. No, I'm not. Oh god. See, the way that llamas act around other llamas, by the way, it's very strange. And you're not going in the hole. That's fine. Don't care. Let's go get some chests. Okay, here we go. We've got 3 hoppers. We've got 2 chests, and now we can finally get back to my favorite part of Minecraft, which is going AFK. Honestly, you know, this is kind of the interesting thing, right? So in the same way that you wouldn't date a robot, you wouldn't have a robot friend because you'd lose the humanity. You'd lose what makes the point of friendship. I sometimes feel like in Minecraft, some people are like so obsessed with the perfectly efficient farm. And the perfectly efficient farm is always made better with time, right? Like, how do you make something better? You add a ton of time to it. How do I make this farm more efficient? How do I get more resources? I sit here AFK for a longer period of time. That is genuinely the solution, in case you're curious. And it's a really interesting one that, like, that is true, but is that fun? You know, does it need to be fun even? Maybe you could make a good argument that it doesn't need to be fun. And I always feel like in the same way that I tried to blame myself for some things, I also try to assess semi-regularly, like, you know, am I enjoying what I'm doing right now? Or am I just doing it? And sometimes it is hard to answer that question, honestly. I feel like this isn't linking into the right place. You know what, damn it. This is the problem with hoppers. Whenever you break one, it always just ends up in another hopper. Okay, that is definitely pointing to the right place now. And now I've got some automatic dripstone. I've got some not automatic dripstone. And I'm excited for the next bit of Minecraft, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit here doing nothing for some time. It's going to be some of the best time I've ever spent in Minecraft. It's going to be real good. Actually, you know, I feel like looking at how much water drips off the top might be a good indication as to which ones are growing. But you know, don't care. I'm just going to go chill. I'm going to do this one off camera because I feel like the amount of footage I'm sending to my assistant for these Let's Plays, it's getting a little ludicrous a little quickly. But yeah, let's hide right over here inside some glass, I guess. Sure, why not? Do you think stalactites can actually grow on the ground here? I'm not sure. But yeah, in the same way there's like a humanity of something. You know, just because it's perfect to love a robot doesn't mean you should. Just because it's perfect to love, you know, it's the perfect way to age copper and do stalactites doesn't mean you should. I just need to set out to achieve my goal today. And if that takes hours, then I'm gonna go enjoy my burrito and enjoy what happens in the meantime. Unless I die, obviously. Okay, another couple hours later, and the same very mixed results. Honestly, why does anyone farm dripstone anyway? What do you need all this dripstone for? Unless you're making an insane dripstone lava farm, and even then, you'd have to get really big before it was worth farming dripstone, just so you could farm dripstone. But whatever, each to their own. This has been a video of self-discovery, I guess, if nothing else. And honestly, discovery about the game too. I mean, the fact that it doesn't, like, dripstone grows from the ground, and it doesn't matter where the ground is, which is very wacky, so it will grow pretty much anywhere, which again is strange and a thing that's worth talking about or learning about. But, yeah, this last week, I learned something interesting. I learned that, I forget her name, but you know it was Rosa Diaz if you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's in a recent musical movie, and so one of the facts I learned about her is not only, like, she's one of those actors, whatever you want to call it, the people who who pretend to be people they're not in TV. You know, like, first of all, it's always impressive when you can, like, hear someone in a movie and then, like, hear them in real life and be like, oh my god, I didn't expect that in the slightest. You know, that's like good acting when someone can be very good at pretending who they're not to be. Get very good at pretending who they're not. Just to clarify that, you're not messed up a little bit there. But yeah, it's really interesting because you know, like that is a genuine that's what like acting is meant to be to some extent. But sometimes, you know, and some actors are like really good at it, and I feel like, you know, again, Rosa Diaz is a great example. Also, Jim Carrey, if you've ever watched The Truman Show, it's crazy how fast he goes from like, you know, like goofy something to like really horrific, like, oh god, what is my life? And you know, maybe I shouldn't enjoy that so much, but it really is such a cool thing to watch, to see someone be able to be very good at convincing you, you know, effectively like professional liars, right, in a way. And it's interesting because so I learned recently that you know, she has got such bad eyesight that she, like, you know, she needs to wear glasses. She's legally blind about them. But because all of her roles have her not wearing glasses, she's so good at acting, she's like good enough at pretending where stuff is. So anyway, I learned this fact, right? And I always learn acting little tidbits and I find them interesting, even though I'm not really, I'm not an acting person. Like, you know, you can, it's just not a thing that interests me. And so I find it interesting that, like, you know, Stephanie something or other, her, you know, her acting ability in some way is being really good at pretending who she's, you know, pretending to be someone that she's not. And it's interesting because, like, I feel like on YouTube, it's kind of the opposite standard. Obviously, this is very different to, like, an acting video, so, like, I understand why, you know, different standard for this or whatever. But, like, I feel like so many, like, what people think they want from YouTube is, like, genuine authenticness, right? Like, they don't want to see people who are really good at pretending to be things they're not. They want to see people who are super, you know, like, the thing I love about YouTube is that you actually get to see real life. You don't get to see this weird fake version of life that someone thinks you want to see. Some network executive somewhere is like, yeah, trust me, what they love is they love this one particular thing right here. Just trust me on that, and then they make it happen. YouTube's like, yeah, I'm gonna share what's really going on, you know? I'm gonna share the thoughts I've had about dating a robot, whether or not that's a very good idea on the internet. I think it's, man, I really need to clear out this inventory. Let's go do that before anything else. Like, I want to make this into a big water pit that'll feed into a hopper somewhere down here. But before we can do that, I think we need to go up and re-examine our entire lives, honestly. But, yeah, I think it's so interesting that people, like, you know, again, the kind of opposite standards there. And I think what it really is really good acting. You don't, you know, like, some people claim to be really into acting. I always found that weird when people were like, oh, yeah, the thing about this show that makes it so good is the acting. It is so beautiful. And I never understood it. I was like, oh, I was just watching the story, and some people were playing the story. You know, like, really good acting is acting that you don't notice, in my humble opinion. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that people have these, like, very much opposite views on something that should be fairly basic. But I think how it really comes down to is, like, yeah, some people really are into acting and they love to, you know, like, see how well someone can convince them or whatever. But most people in reality are just, oh yeah, I think it's impressive when people can tell a story to me. And so that's why I think you see YouTube heading in the direction that, like, it often does. Like, if you look outside the gaming space, and let's be honest, even the most successful YouTubers in the gaming space, they're utilizing, you know, these tools of fake drama to their advantage. They're you know, like, creating unnecessary conflicts, because conflict is a thing that gets people interested. Are you on team, you know, the good YouTuber, or are you on team the bad YouTuber, the misunderstood, you know, one or whatever? there's like so many different ways that you can you can make some things up basically, and people find made up things more reassuring than real things. And you might be like, oh, not me, I am a connoisseur that's above that. But like, I don't know, like everyone loves some fictional stories, whether it's the Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, or whether it's just something as dumb as like the weird things you read on Reddit. Because I feel like, yeah, we love stories so much more than we love, like verifying a story is true. Very boring. Who wants to do that? Blindly believing a story and being like, yeah, this is the greatest. This clearly must be true because it confirms my pre-existing beliefs. Now that's what I'm really talking about, right? And so it really tends to be that way. That yeah, I think it's interesting that in a way it's all about stories and always has been, right? There are like a few basic things that we can say to each other, and sometimes we need to hear certain things, and those around us don't say them. And then I feel like we turn to the internet and to TV and all these different media. I know, I think about that sometimes, because like, I watch a lot of YouTube as well as a lot of, oh, look at this, see another dripstone. I don't understand how it can take hours for 5 to grow, but then 1 can grow in a few minutes. It makes no sense to me. But yeah, we ultimately just love stories. We love these reassuring tales that are like, oh yeah, that thing that you think you're terrible and this is like a only you experience. Don't worry, it's not. Everything's good. Okay, so I'm gonna place just the water bucket there. How about I just leave that one water bucket, call it a day? Also, I can finally group up these buckets. See, isn't that so strange the way they're not grouping correctly? In fact, let's go grab a bucket from upstairs. Maybe a couple buckets. A whole 3 buckets of water. And let's actually turn this into like a water source that drains in the one direction. Yeah, as long as it all goes to the right, it doesn't actually matter beyond that. So we'll drain it all here, and it'll be great. But yeah, I think there's a really interesting thing about like there are a lot of people that there's been a lot of challenge in a lot of life for a lot of people recently. I feel bad for so much of it sometimes. Like the amount of pain that's out there. How much of that pain have you exacerbated in some point of your life or other? It's horrifying to think about too hard, or even to think about not too hard. It's horrifying to dive into in any level, because no one wants to be someone that causes pain, but sometimes situations conspire in that way. And whether you're on the receiving or the giving end of pain, it's like it's I won't say it's like equally bad, because that's like a that's a funny and probably incorrect take. But I think there's a very okay. So this, well, I want the water to go right up to here, and then this will be like the layer down that brings us into the actual thing. And then from this layer, yeah, we'll put like, wait, what we'll do is we'll have like a single stone block going across here. They'll like bring all the, actually wait, we'll put this, okay, this is very rough right now, but please bear with me. The water goes all in one direction, and then it doesn't go this way because there's stone there, and it doesn't go that way because there's stone there. Then it can take it all into one place. Maybe this should be the block down. And then from there, it can all go into one. Okay, wait. Okay, so we then remove this block, and we put a block here. Then now the water flows all into this, which can be a hopper, or into this, which can be a hopper, or into this. So you get the point. It can all be into one place, and then boom. Yeah, if I put like a hopper there, yeah, if I put a hopper down there, I can put a chest over here. I don't know where that water's. Oh, it's going through there, and then boom, we've got 2 chests that are very close by to each other, neither of which are particularly accessible. Because this one is technically like, oh yeah, you just gotta run around and through, and like, it's easy to get to, air quotes. But like, is it really? No. We need to have a ton of torches leading the way. That's how you make things easy. There's nothing screams easy like torches directing you to a place. Then we place a chest and a hopper there, and then we've got ourselves not actually automated yet. Yeah, the again, right now it's very much manual, but we harvest automatically. If we want to make it true automatic. So first of all, we're going to make some infinite sources, because this should now be, yep, place that there. Now we can move this. Once we've got it all infinitely flowing in the same direction, at least, from there, Oh, it goes one block too few. You know, why? Also, why is it not like, look at this, the fact that it's like some blocks are going further out than others? This is all very confusing. You know, trying to understand water mechanics in Minecraft will drive you crazy. I want to understand it. I want to. I'm just having a hard time working out why some of the blocks are like this and some are like that. And then once we've done that, I guess we can move this one block to the left. Or we could not. We could let it all sit on the stone like this. That's an option too. But yeah, we have a dripstone farm now. Is it very useful? No. Is dripstone ever very useful? Probably not. Ultimately, do we want things that are real? Yeah. But like, do we really want things that are real? Sometimes apparently not. And it sucks, but sometimes it sucks that like it feels like, you know, because sometimes everyone's like, oh, I can't believe other people are like that. And it's like, there's a little bit of you in there somewhere. Whether it's you, the person who's like, yeah, go Team Robot, or whether it's you being the person who's like, yeah, actually, I like actors who are very good at fooling me. I feel like sometimes we're just very good at deceiving ourselves, and indeed other people. I guess I'll move this to be the water source now. Yeah, that would have been a much better idea to begin with. Why? I just don't understand why this. There we go. Okay, so it does work. I'm just... Like, they all look like source blocks. So if I place one there, why isn't it going all the way out? Why are these 3 blocks missing? You know, I can't end yet. I'm sorry. I want to end. I want to give you the happy resolution of like, you know what? It's all okay. If you've done something, if you've made a mistake, you regret, or if you haven't made a mistake but someone has, I think blaming yourself is like natural. And I also think it's actually healthy. I genuinely do think if the problem isn't in your control, what is going wrong here? What am I doing so horrifically incorrectly? Maybe if I place it like, okay, this is risky, but if I place it one block further out, there we go. Actually, maybe I should do that anyway. Oh no, okay, yep. I don't know what I just did there. I don't know how that makes sense. What is water mechanics in Minecraft? I don't understand any of it. I really want to. Oh, now this is all water source. So that's a problem. Is it really a problem? Yeah, it's a problem. Maybe if I make this like half slabs or like stairs? Stairs wouldn't help me. I could make this into... You know, there's a lot of things I could do is my point. And I'm gonna do precisely none of them. Because I've had enough of staring at copper and looking at dripstone grow for today. But maybe I'll come back on a different one. Who knows for sure. All that matters is that there are a ton of wandering llamas here that you can enjoy because the Let's Play is soon available for re-download. If you want to get the Let's Play right now, good news. It is still up for download. If you want to get it with the update, that'll be coming out soon. I'll let you know as that happens. And yeah, thank you to everyone. Oh, you can ride these guys. That's cute. Are they pre-tamed? They are. That's also very cute. But yeah, if you are those real there's one real llama in there of the batch, right? How did he even get there? Why do they all congregate into these few holes? That's my other question. There's just so many questions about all of this, really. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and make sure if you want to support them, you become a member on the channel, because there's some fun goals as I come back to the UK in a couple of weeks. But I'll save those for the future. I'll also save you for the future, dear viewer, because I enjoyed your company, and so I'm going to put you in my fridge until next week. I don't know what I'm saying here. I had a good burrito, is my point. Goodbye.